Jay Ruiz, 42-49. Topuria KOs Islam. I've seen enough. Well, maybe you need to get some thicker glasses, my friend.
You've
thicker
seen enough?
glasses. You haven't seen enough at all.
Holy
you didn't know what you're talking about.
Are you
Jay.
kidding? Hold on. Did he actually say, I've seen enough? Okay,
Yeah.
Maybe you've seen enough to know how good he is. But let me tell you, this is the difference. This is when you go, this is somebody I want to watch again and again and again because he is so damn good. And I told you, I told you.
John,
look out, baby.
Let's
look
not
out.
sit around here and talk about the past. The past is in the past, okay? It's over. The past is over.
Yeah, you're right. It's a day past. 24 hours. Everything's gone.
Not bringing it up. These guys, man, you know who else does? I just watched Brendan Schaub the other day.
Yeah.
He did exactly what you just did. I told you. I told all of you.
I did, though. Brendan lies.
Yeah. Brendan does not lie.
Hold on. You know what the best one is? You put out your tweet, and so I put this tweet out. I was being a smart ass. And I said, you know, when the real Punk and at Chael Sonnen and at Drake choose a fighter, you know that man, the voodoo's gone the wrong way. Go the other way. Go to Topuria. And Chael Sonnen goes, there might be some truth in that.
There's 100% truth in that. 100%.
I love it.
I swear, man. Look, you know me. I always have to take the dog when the dog is a plus 300, plus 325 with Charles' experience, though. That's the thing.
But this is also, this is the whole thing. And you've got to admit it's true. You know it's true. You like Charles Oliveira. You always have. I love him. I know. And your heartstrings tell you, you know what? He can do this. He can do this. And at 325, my God, come on. Yeah, I know where it's at. The heartstrings, you can't listen to him.
Yeah, at a plus 325 with Charles's experience at 45 and at 55 and having success at 55 and just, he does have power. You could see it. He had power. He's slick with the boxing as well. Just defensively, he's not the same as Ilia Topuria. And I kind of figured that. We've all seen him get rocked as of lately in a lot of his fights. Yeah. Chandler rocked him and dropped him. And then, Dustin and Justin, everyone has hurt him. But he's a dog. He gets through it. He recovers. And he reminds me of the newer generation of an Eddie Alvarez. Eddie always got injured, always got hurt and rocked. But he would come back and just destroy guys. And that's
kind of woke him up.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, look, I'm in a fight. Let me go ahead and have some fun now. Look, you got to tip your hat, though, John. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. The power. Look, I was sure that the power would translate. I don't think I've ever seen power not translate going up. It's more of the power translating going down, only because you're losing a lot of that muscle that comes along with it. People talk about it, but the kids are fat. The guys are faster in the lighter weight classes. And if you try to use that power too often, you're going to get the speed's going to be too much sometimes. The ones that go up, sure, maybe the power doesn't the power does translate. It's just maybe you've got to set it up a little bit more.
Sometimes it's tougher. You get knockouts in a certain weight class. You go up, those fighters can absorb a little bit more, so you got to land more on them.
Yeah,
but it's clear that Topuria's power translates going up. And it's because of his technique. Mm-hmm. I talked about, in fighting in the phone booth, that's exactly where he won this fight. Yeah. Coming inside and the short, straight, hard shots that he throws. I mean, it's difficult to deal with if you're not used to being in a fight with someone like him. And so, he's special. You got to admit it. Charles did exactly what you said. He became a wrestler fast. And he went for that takedown. And, it didn't work for him as far as getting the position he wanted. But he got the fight to the ground. And you look and you said, okay, look at Charles on the ground. That is not a bad thing. No. And Topuria did the right things on top. He actually moved to a great position. He almost had, a choke in there for a second. He's moving around. He kind of got twisted in the legs, intertwined. It really was no submission there. But it's, hey, it was a good. Charles was trying to hold on to it because he wanted it there, and I don't blame him. And it just, Topuria was smart enough to say, nope, let's get this back to our feet. I feel like I have an advantage, and he was right.
No, absolutely. I mean, look, Ilia understands what butters his bread, and what does that is he's got power in his hands. He's a very good defensively sound boxer and striker. He does everything, like I said before. his head movement, he just barely makes you miss, and then he makes you pay. He doesn't, and he brought this up, and I actually watched a video about him right up to the fight, and he said, most fighters I have to go searching for. He's like, I don't need to search for Charles Oliveira. He's going to find me in the center of the cage. And that's what happened. Right off the jump, they both met in the middle, and Charles tried to walk him down. Charles had some success. He did land some good shots. It just didn't have the same effect as the fight after the first first minute and a half of the fight, because he was literally trying to knock him out like he said he would.
Oh, yeah.
He did exactly what he said he was going to do. Charles doesn't change the way he fights for anybody. And it cost him a little bit last night, but I also understood – like, if you're the bigger guy and you're the guy that's used to fighting at 155, you've got to somewhat try to impose your will on the smaller guy.
Yeah, you got to make him go, oh, it's different. Oh, I got to respect this. Yeah,
you know. But let's go back to what Ilia's what a lot of people were talking about with Ilia. John, the confidence, I think, is what kind of bugs a lot of people. But I got to be honest, now that when you produce what you've produced in the last 3 fights. Let's just talk about the 3 fights. And let's not talk any other fights but the last 3 fights.
Thank you.
If once you produce what he's done in the last 3 fights, it's hard not to like him. And what I also liked is at the end, he talked about the things that he wanted to do in the career. He talked about trying to be the new generation. What he's doing right now is he's trying to dig the sport of MMA out of this slump of as I've said before, the younger fighters are not able to beat the older fighters. He's doing that himself right now. He's like, look, I'm the guy. I'm the new generation of fighter that people need to be worried about. I'm the guy. I'm that style that's going to be dangerous for everybody. He may be carrying this sport on his back here shortly.
There's no doubt when you take a look at what he has done in those last 3 fights. Think about this, Josh. First off, who knocks out Volkanovski? Okay, a head kick by Islam, that happened, but we all know Volk can take shots, but okay, he's been knocked out before. Okay, and I honestly kind of felt like maybe that had a lingering effect. But look, at Volkanovski's as good as they come. He is a tough son of a bitch. Then you take a look at who knocks out Max Holloway. Nobody. There's people that have beaten Max, but man, you don't knock Max out. He did, and he did it beautifully. Then you take a look at Charles Oliveira. Look at those 3 in a row. We're talking champion, because that's how he wins the featherweight title. Former champion in Max Holloway, and now fighting for the title against another former champion in Charles Oliveira. And 3 devastating knockouts for the wins. And he's 28 years old, dude. 28. That's scary.
Okay, so and I can honestly admit this, is that after he beat Volk, I said, well, it's because Volk came back too soon after the head kick knockout, and then he beat Max, and and I was the first one to say, even before they fought, do not go back down to 45, because you won't put the weight on properly. Now you're dropping the weight back down to fight at featherweight again.
After the Gaethje fight, right? Yes,
and I was like, don't do it. You just had success. You're the number 1 contender now to fight Islam. Take it there. You're there. Anyways, he goes down. He gets knocked out, and I was like, I'm not going to take it away from Ilia, because beating both those guys is absolutely just crazy insane. But I still had my doubts. But then this fight, John, all the doubts are erased for me. But then I went on Twitter, I went on X, and I saw people going, yeah, but Charles has always been a little chinny as of lately, and everyone's dropped him. And then obviously everyone's like, he's not the true champion until he beats Arman, because Arman was the guy that was supposed to get the shot but didn't because he fumbled the bag and all this stuff. But I do want to see that fight. That should be the next fight.
This episode is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys YouTube 150 for the promo code. Also, Element, use the link in the descriptions down below. Any product you buy from there, they will send you a bonus package of product if you use our link down below. Element's amazing, man. I love it. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us.